Greetings, fellow researchers, and welcome to Research Methods. Why do we even have a course in research methods or research methodology? What we're doing in this course is establishing the foundation to our discipline, similar to other disciplines. Whether you are a doctor or a lawyer or in any other kind of profession, there is at foundation a commonly held understanding of the basic concepts of that profession. A course like this helps you understand the processes that go into establishing that foundation. That knowledge did not come out of nowhere, nor were just any ideas accepted as foundational. Knowledge was collected and vetted over time according to very specific criteria. In another course, you already have done some reading where you've accessed that information, where you began to understand the knowledge that's at the foundation of our profession. You did that when you did a literature review. This course is designed to show you how that literature was created. In addition, this course is designed to show you how to become a disciplined problem solver. In any profession, practitioners are confronted with a variety of challenges. This course is designed to show you how to approach the solving of the problems that you will face in a very systematic way. The problem-solving process involves several steps or stages, and we wanted to show you what that process looks like. The first step is to develop a probing question. This question forms a foundation for the investigation, and the answers to this question helps you as a practitioner solve a very real problem. You will have already generated this question in the course you took previous to this one. In addition, you will already investigated what others in the field think about this particular question when you did your literature review. Now you're at the stage where you're going to go about the systematic answering of that question. One of the benefits of this research, or the research process, is that you will break what sometimes is referred to as the cycle of error. The cycle of error occurs when we assume something to be true and we interpreted the experiences of our life in light of those assumptions, never thinking that there could be other ways of thinking about things. What research does is helps challenge those assumptions so we can think about things differently and act differently. So then, educational research is this process where, whether we know it or not, a system that we are in might be broken or might be failing, and we, through discovery, go about breaking that cycle. So we could think of research as one way of a disruption to the current way we are thinking, to the current way that we are acting, to the current way we are doing things. We disrupt that in order to be able to introduce a new narrative, a new way of thinking about things. And oftentimes that is what happens when we read research, is that we oftentimes, for the first time, begin to think about something differently. What we are doing in doing research is systematically going about the process of investigating and then seeing what might be ineffective and how there might be other ways of doing things, other practices that might be more effective. So, research methods is this systematic way of going about doing this kind of work. Our goal then is to be research-based decision makers, data informed, not necessarily data driven. And this is an important decision to make, important difference to make, because oftentimes people talk about being data driven individuals, that whatever the data suggests we do, that's what we do. I would suggest that we think about things differently, that we want to become data informed decision makers. The data is important, but it isn't the driver. This is best illustrated in the parable of the Good Shepherd. The Good Shepherd had 100 sheep. At the end of the day, he counted, found there was 99, and one was gone, one was missing. And instead of just shrugging his shoulders and say, well, that's not a bad percentage, he went out and he found the one that was missing. So the data-driven decision maker might have been one who took the numbers and was satisfied with the numbers and went on. The data-informed decision maker found what the data said, but then made a decision based on a different criteria, the mission, if you were, his own personal mission, his own personal values, his own personal commitment. So that's what we want you all to be able to do. We don't want anybody to ignore the data. But at the end of the day, data is one part of a complex process of leadership. This idea of commitment, though, to a standard, of commitment to finding out the way things are, is very much a part of our own faith foundations. We talk about there being a foundation to our faith. 10 Commandments, the Great Commission, the Great Commandment. All those are ways of expressing that there's a foundation to the work that we do. And this idea is that life is constructed in a certain kind of way. And when we find out what that foundational construction looks like, when we find out what truth really is, then we have in that the foundation for our personal freedom. A friend of mine once put it this way: the truth will set you free, but first it might make you a bit miserable. And that's an important consideration for us as leaders, is that this process of finding the truth, of looking for what really works, is a disruptive process and can cause a significant amount of discomfort, and in some cases even pain. But that's an important thing for us as researchers to be able to do, is to look at things and find the truth of things. Be able then to formulate changes based on that. So what is this course that you're taking? It's a methodical approach to problem solving. It's one step following another. There used to be a phrase back in the early days of computer programming: garbage in, garbage out. GIGO was the shorthand way of describing that. And what was meant by that was that if you're not careful each and every step along the way, even though you might have a very impressive printout at the end, it still would be garbage. And so that's what we want you to be aware of as you're starting this process, that research methods is a very precise and systematic way of going about solving a problem. One step follows another, and each step must be carefully completed before going on to the next. Following this process, you will come to the end, and two things will happen. First, the satisfaction of doing a job well. You went about the task, you went about it properly, carefully, you took care with each step. And then you will have a clear guide to solving a significant problem of practice. With that, I wish you well, and Godspeed.